Wow. I'm not often early, but I don't often cut it that close either. Hey gang, it's the fourth Big Cancer Hookup. Welcome and thanks for joining us. You guys, again, this year are connected from coast to coast. 12 cities are getting together locally to hang out with their buddies, and dozens or hundreds more still coming in with registrations today are home, on the couch, hanging out, from bed, on the phone, wherever you are. We're pumped that you're here. So glad you joined us. We've got Victoria, Vancouver, Kamloops, Edmonton, Calgary, Saskatchewan, that's Saskatoon in there, Winnipeg, Hamilton, Ottawa, Toronto, Halifax, St. John's. I think I got everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're so glad you're here. We're going to take you through a very fun, funny, and powerful next hour and a half, give or take. We're not on commercial time here, so we're going to have fun with this, and we're going to let it roll. And joining me on this rolling is my very talented friend, cancer survivor, mom, wife of one still, Kathy Stock.
Hello.
Good evening.
Glad to be here. It's always fun.
I am glad that you are here again. You are
Thank
feeling
you.
a little bit better this year than you were last year?
So much better than last year. And this is the first hookup that I've been in where I've had all just my own hair. No
Me
synthetic
too.
hair. You too? You're looking fabulous.
So no extensions this year?
No extensions this year. Grew it from scratch.
Chris Chow, we're thinking of you, my buddy.
That's right. That's right.
When you were, because you would bring them, you'd wear them, and
That's
then
right.
if
And I'd share them.
you would share them.
Wear and
Exactly
share.
right.
That's how it works.
That's how you roll. And Kathy, isn't there supposed to be some crew behind you there with some instruments?
You know, the Chemo Brains are my peeps.
The backup band?
And so I try every year. I book them. They say they're going to be here. They write it down wrong. Things have happened. So this year I had a backup crew for them, just in case they pulled a fast one like they did this evening. I had the CFS, the Chronic Fatigue Singers. We're going to come back me up, but they fell asleep on the way. So the Chemo Brains forgot to come, and the Chronic Fatigue Singers are at home sleeping it off. So I'm on my own again this year. But one of these years, we're going to find somebody.
I can't wait to meet those Chemo Brains when
They're
they do
great.
actually finally get here.
They're a great crew.
I'll be pumped about that.
Me too.
And I know there's a few people out there in Yakland and Hookup Land that can relate to Chemo Brain. Forget the occasional thing every now and then. We can relate to that.
That's right.
That's
I
all
almost
right.
showed up yesterday. So
Listen, I want to take just a second off the top here tonight, just for a moment of remembrance, from our buddy Justin Tobin, who was with us on the hookup last year, and he passed away a short while ago, and his family have really made a really cool initiative out of that that they've called Random Acts of Justin, which is really just doing what Justin did, which was kind of living with his heart out and helping other people. So just want to acknowledge Justin and encourage everybody to do a random act of Justin and help somebody else, pay it forward, so to speak. So we're going to roll down through here, Kathy, but before we do, again this year, there's 100 or more new young adults that are connected to this webcast tonight. And that's one of the two major reasons why we do this thing. One part is for the yakkers who are already in our network to get together and hang out in the cold winter months when we don't typically have a whole lot of program on the go. Survivor Conference and retreats, adventures usually are in that spring, summer, early fall area. So we kind of came up with the hookup as a way to kind of bridge the gap between those spaces and give us something to do in the middle of the winter. And the other really cool thing it does is it brings in a whole new group of young adults who are dealing with cancer who never knew about Yak before, or if they did, they were kind of lurking, like Kathy did for a little while.
That's right.
Just kind of checking out the web a little bit, and then eventually maybe raise their hand and kind of say, hey, I'm here. I'm a young adult with cancer. Well, 100 plus of you have done that tonight, and we're so glad you have. For everybody, no matter where you are, home, by yourself, with a big group of buddies, in treatment, way after treatment, in recovery, somewhere in the middle, newly diagnosed, in dealing with a relapse, whatever your situation is, you have to know. Any cancer, any stage, Yak's got your back. And you're going to hear that from me more than once tonight. I wanted to start the show with it. Last final thing to those new people is welcome home. We've been waiting for you. For those that took a little longer than others, it's great to have you. Those who came right in, we're pumped that you jumped right in so quickly. Now, we're going to dive in and get rolling into the rest of the show. But I remember last year, Kathy, do you remember the crowd that we had last year?
It was actually like a problem for the city planners. They were trying to figure out how to fit
It was
everybody.
wicked. It
amazing.
was surprising. Like, we knew we got great response, but the crowd last year was so good. Like,
Overwhelming.
it was massive.
People are still
Do we have,
talking about it.
Trish, can you pull up a shot of that? We have a wicked shot of the crowd last
Look
year.
at
Like,
that.
like that's inspiring.
It is.
And I heard from Les that
Headquarters looks great too. DIAC headquarters.
it does
is
look good in here.
Really good.
We agree.
good
This place gets
expansions.
transformed in about 24 hours.
It's true.
But I heard from Les that registration this year was even fantasticer.
I heard that it was the largest registration for any event globally ever in the history of Everness. That's what I heard.
I wonder what the picture looks like, because, I mean, if last year was amazing,
Mm-hmm.
and with those kind of adjectives floating around for this year...
Do we have a picture of it outside?
I bet Trist has one. I bet she's going to
Okay.
pull it up right now.
Let's see. See what it looks like outside.
Wow!
That is so many more people.
That is over the top this year. We're setting new records here.
Word. That's
Wow,
incredible.
I feel so good about this. Like, wow.
Yeah. And I mean, even the grass coverings kind of throw you off a little bit, but it's still way more people than any
It
conference
is
ever. any
clearly
retreat
way
ever.
more. And I think what you
Anything
said is
ever.
it is the biggest. It must be the biggest crowd ever for anything ever.
Ever in the history of the world.
And you are part of that.
Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, you're part of that.
Yeah.
Now listen, I only usually work one Saturday night a year.
Okay. Tonight.
This one.
There you go.
So I'm here working, and I often have stuff I didn't get to during the week.
Right.
So
You're a busy guy.
if you don't mind, I'm going to do some of the things that I really love to do is like the personal notes, right? Like the personal touch.
See, that's a lost
Love
art.
the personal touch. And I'm going to catch up on some thank you notes from the week, if you don't mind.
I'm fine with that.
And if you don't mind, I'm really a lot more productive when I've got some kind of soft, sweet music in the background.
You are lucky that I brought my keyboard.
Roland is here.
Yes.
At least he remembered to come.
Roland's here.
I'm gonna just do a couple of notes.
Sure.
Thank you, colorectal cancer. Nothing says life of the party like a tumor in your ass.
That's true.
Talk to Megan about that one later on.
They're always my favorite party people.
Thank you, Sinead O'Connor. Oh, Bruce Willis, Demi Moore, Vin Diesel, and Jeff. Me. Thank me for making Bald so beautiful. Our chemo friends really appreciate it. Even
true.
some of us choose to take chemo and stick it to chemo and take our hair before chemo even hits.
That's right.
Did you
And
find that
then-
empowering?
I found that incredibly empowering, although I wore a hat a lot. But you are the one, my friend, who gets to wear makeup on the very tippy top of your head tonight. And our community thanks you for that.
Once upon a time, this was a big metropolis of hair.
I believe you.
It is no longer.
Sure.
I was truly, my life was that Seinfeld episode. I shaved my head when I got sick.
And that's it.
Empowering, I like, no way chemo's taking this hair from me. I
Right.
did that, I shaved it.
Mhm.
And then, I love being bald. So I shaved my head for 5 years.
There you go.
And my beautiful wife, Karen,
Mm-hmm.
says, you should grow your hair back. So I said, okay, I'll grow my hair back.
Right.
And I grew my hair back. And then all of a sudden I looked at the driver's license picture and I looked in the mirror and I was like, there's a little discrepancy here.
That's right.
And then it very quickly, within a matter of a year or two, the discrepancy was dramatic.
The
So I thought, you know what?
universe wants you to.
I'm not holding on to
Rock
a
it.
historic remains of a once great society of hair. I'm going to embrace what's happening and get back to
No cul-de-sac for you.
no way. I'm happy to be bald and beautiful like my brother Bruce
It
and
looks great.
others. And I'm faster like this too, no question. and big savings in the morning. I don't have to get up and do my hair, obviously.
That's why you take such long bubble baths.
There's a lot of benefits to that. Still need the shower cap, though.
That's right.
Thank you, hospital parking meters. Disposable income is for suckers anyway.
That's true. I'm always looking for places to just toss extra change.
There's a gent out, I believe, in Winnipeg who's been challenging that.
Yeah?
Under the Canada Health Act, yeah.
Nice.
I hope he does well with that challenge. Thank you, Three Dog Night, for writing "One is the loneliest number." Men with testicular cancer really needed an anthem. An anthem.
Oh,
Oh, an anthem.
I'll never hear that song the same again.
Thank you, Internet. Because of you, all I need to add is a vegetable to my name, and I can give out medical advice. Love, Jeffrey Cauliflower Eaton.
I feel like I could take medical advice from you now because you have a vegetable
I'm
in
going to
your
put that on my
name.
business card as well.
You should.
I'm adding that to my business card.
That's a good ring to it.
I have one more if you don't mind.
That's fine.
It'll be quick,
We have all kinds of time.
but this will be quick.
Sure.
Thank you, Obama. Thank you.
That's all. That's enough.
Thank you, Obama. Thank you, Kathy, and all of you for letting me get a few of those cancer notes underway. I try to save that just for this one Saturday a year. Now, you may see on the screen, there's a little number sign there. The kids these days tell me that also means hashtag Yak Hookup 17. And we've got some Twitter action happening, Kathy.
We do.
We are going to be doing something with Twitter tonight.
We are. We're going to be doing things a little bit differently this year. We used to check in pretty frequently throughout the show in past years. But this year, we are going to check in right at the end of the program. So everybody should get on Twitter. If you're not regularly on Twitter, this is your night to kind of get on there. And my husband calls it Hashmark, which makes him sound like he's 100 years old.
Older than me.
But he's not. Very handsome. But we're going to encourage people to get on there and Hashmark what is it?
Yak
Hookup.
17.
I'm going to tell you the wrong thing.
It's on the screen.
Big Cancer
They can see it.
Hookup, St. John's, and then every other community across the Canadian region. No, it's going to be the Yak in capital letters, just to make it look legit. YACC, capital H, for Hookup 17. So that is the hashtag tonight. And we're going to check in at the end of the program. And we're going to see what people have to say. And we're also going to encourage you to send some questions. If you have questions for people, if you have questions for some of the guests that are on the show tonight, you can tweet those out too. So we're going to look at those maybe a little bit later in the program, maybe after the program's over when we have a little bit Q&A time. So we're going to be using Twitter for that. So get on Twitter, send your tweets out, use the hashtag so we can find it. And it's going to help us kind of bridge the gap right now that we have all across the country. We're in a lot of different places, a lot of different time zones. So this will bring us a little bit together. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
A couple of powerful parts of that is thanks to the magic of Twitter, we can follow the hashtag. So you can see everybody that they're commenting.
Yes.
And also, we can all be kind of connected, and you can share what you see because then your network sees what you share, of course. So
That's
the
right.
retweeting action is also a fantastic
It is.
addition to the activity.
It's a great tool.
And as we're talking about stuff, I know you're going to relate. People are already relating to what we've already just bantered about. We want to hear about it. Talk about it. The more people that hear about this show tonight, that hear about what we're doing, the better, because the more young adults are going to find out about us, and the more champions are going to connect with us. It's going to be a win-win. That's what this is about.
That's right.
Now we are going to roll because this is really about story.
That's right.
It's about talking with some young adults that are just like you. So we're going to get to that right now. We're going to get our first guest going. He's our social superhero, we call him. The hair there. He's not fussy about how you pronounce his name. I'm going to say there. He is a Yak alumni from Palestine. He's been in Canada for a long time. He's been in Newfoundland for a number of years as well. Diagnosed with a brain tumor about a year and a half ago. Please welcome to the big blue couch, the hair. Come on and join us, big guy. Look at all this. Yes, he comes in for the high five. I love it. Nah, how are you, dude?
Good.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
We didn't go over this. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. Your diagnosis. I tried saying it about 8 times. Can you say it?
No.
This is what I don't I like. I wonder when I read it. I kind of thought about like who thought of that? Anaplastic oligodendroglioma. Oligodendroglioma.
That sounds
Like,
nice.
like who thought of that? And how does that just roll off someone's tongue? Like when they told you you had cancer, they probably didn't say that.
Yeah, well, I say brain tumor.
And that's I'm sure everyone says that. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So you wonder about who came up with that name, and is
I-
there like a Dodger or a La Oleo? Wow, what a name
Stuff that
for
keeps you up
brain
at night.
tumor. That's what it is. So the hair diagnosed with a brain tumor about a year and a half ago.
November 2015.
Yeah, so a little less than a year and a half then.
Yeah.
And I know because we talked a little before cancer, you were here in Newfoundland studying.
Yeah.
Doing some computer science. How were you feeling the time before diagnosis?
Well, I was just going with the flow, studying, having courses, assignments, and quizzes, exams, tests, and then suddenly it just happened, and I was, they told me that you have cancer at the hospital. So.
Right. So you said you had a seizure in class one day or
Well-
something, and that's how you ended up in the hospital.
It started when I was in my statistics class,
Right.
and I had a seizure in the class. It just went out of control. My hands I couldn't control anything in my body.
Yeah.
And then I woke up in the ambulance, and paramedic told me that you had a seizure. And then when I went to the hospital or the emergency, they told me that we have to check what's going on with you. So they did CT scan, and when they did the CT scan, they came back and they said, you have something in your head. It's like a mass or something. So they sent me to the hospital, and they said, you just stay here for a while. We're going to do some checkups on you.
Right.
Yeah, and then they did MRI, and they did MRI. Came back with the result, and they said you have tumor, and they wanted to do surgery. So my neurosurgeon said that you got something in your head, and we have to take it out. So they said we need to do the surgery as soon as possible. So after 1 week, I just had my surgery.
Yeah. So I know you had never had surgery before to that point, and a lot of us haven't had surgery, but brain surgery is a whole other level, obviously. So you kind of started with the biggest surgery you can probably ever have.
Yeah.
You had surgery, and I know you had a recovery from that was super tough. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Actually, I started the surgery I did my surgery in November. And after that, after I finished, I wasn't able to move my left hand and left leg. And
And was that expected? Or was that
Yeah.
one of the things they said was probably going to happen and hopefully it will come back in time?
yeah, the neurosurgeon told me that there is going to be side effects to that. And he said you might have a seizure and you might have difficulty to move your left hand and left leg. And that happened.
It did.
Yeah, and I stayed in the hospital for 1 or 2 weeks, to start be able to move my leg and
Right.
just moving it like a bit. Yeah. So
And I know your big brother came to be with you. We got a picture of him. I think Trista's going to put that one up on the screen. Like within a day, I think he was here, right, from Europe.
yeah, yeah. When he knew about the thing that what my the surgery, he told me I'll be there tomorrow. So I couldn't sleep that day because I was waiting for him.
Yeah, that's awesome to have that kind of support, because obviously one of the tough parts, one of the many tough parts, but for you, I mean, you were here, you had a local group of friends and a network, but your family was in different places. So how was that part of the experience dealing? I mean, it's great to have your brother here, but you're not in your home space really.
Yeah, well, when I was in the hospital, I have a lot of supporters and friends came when I just first went there. And then my brother came also. When my brother came, it just kind of, took a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, I'm sure he helped.
Yeah, it helped. And yeah, and then like all supporters and friends, they come every day to the hospital, and until I finished my treatment. Sorry,
Right.
my stay in the hospital, and yeah, then I started after my oncologist appointment. They told me that you need to start radiation and chemo. So
It's the
yeah.
treatment lottery. You hit the triangle of treatment with the
Yeah.
surgery, radiation, and chemo. And you did all of those things. And do you remember when you first heard about YAC in that time?
Oh yes, I actually was talking to the social worker at the cancer center, Bill.
Yeah, we
Bill
know.
Hines.
Bill Hines, super guy.
Yeah, and he told me about the YAC group, and he said, if you like, I can connect you with them. And I'm like, yes, sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I remember, it's classic how fun things you remember, right? But I remember last year's Survivor Conference, the first day, driving into the parking lot of the hotel. It was a beautiful sunny day, and I saw this big, tall, bald dude walking across the parking lot, and I kind of stopped to let you cross around the little entranceway to the hotel, and it turned out to be you. I was looking at that guy, I was like, I wonder if that guy's going to our conference. And sure enough, you were, and you did. So you first connected with us face to face at that conference. What was that experience like for you?
Oh yes, actually one of member executive at YAC told me about the conference, and I wasn't like I was hesitating at the beginning, and
Yeah.
then I told her it's okay, since the conference is just beside my house, I can just come and leave at the evening.
That's a benefit that not everyone has, right?
Yeah, but I don't really need to stay inside the hotel, But then she said, no, you have to come and you have
That
to
was
stay.
most likely Leslie. She's so tough like that.
She's such a bully.
No,
love.
that's right.
a
Come and be
love
part of
But
the
it
group.
was like a perfect experience, like meet all of these yakkers, and
Yeah.
had a really nice experience, meet a lot of people. So
That's awesome.
it's very nice to be with people who really understand you and being in the same experience.
That's what it's all about. You just summed it up, man.
Yeah.
That's what that is such a simple concept. And I guess for most people, probably they don't have the experience of being supremely isolated after probably for a lot or hopefully a lot of their life or all of their life, they've been so connected to various ways through education or career or sports or arts or whatever it is you're doing. But, certainly as you know, when you get diagnosed with cancer as a young adult, none of your buddies have had cancer. So you can be surrounded and loved, which is really great to know that you were, but they don't understand. They don't really get what you're going through. They can be supportive and loving, but
Yeah.
that's what we're about, right? What you just said. So you had that experience at the conference, and then you got some new sunglasses. on Sunday night. We got a shot of that. Tristram got a shot of you at the banquet last year. There we gorgeous. Wicked. That's the Sunday night party at the Survivor Conference. So I know the conference is big, but then later last year you also got to go to a retreat, which is not near as big. Conference 75 to 100 people. Retreat maxed out at 25. So you went all the way out to BC for Retreat BC.
Yeah, that's right.
And what's the difference between the two for you?
The conference was a really nice event because it was the first event for me, and then beside meeting a lot of people, and we got to know each other more, to know about each other's experience in the conference.
Yep.
But the YAC Retreat Yourself event, it was more like since the place was small and the group was small, so it just was. We had more opportunity to meet with each other and just introduce each other, and have the chance to just sit with each one and talk, and but the conference was a bit hard because there was like
Just a numbers
around
thing.
75
That's right.
people.
It's just a numbers thing. You have way more people, bigger group, of course. You're just going to have less time to connect.
Yeah.
And the retreat offers that opportunity. I know Megan, who's coming up in a minute, is a buddy of
Yeah.
yours from that exact same retreat. So you guys had that time to connect and bond, which is another really powerful thing. So as we said, Newfoundland's not native. Like, you didn't grow up around the Bay. So you come from another place. You come even in Canada for a while. Then you come to Newfoundland. And I don't know if everybody knows, but we speak a little bit differently here sometimes. In fact, you can go like 20 kilometers around the bay, from one bay to another, and it's like you're in a totally different country because the dialects vary so much.
Yeah.
What are your favorite Newfoundland sayings that you've picked up along the way?
Well, since I came here, I just started communicating with people, and I just noticed that they have this different accent or
Yes, we do.
dialect, and they're like, just some of the sayings that I really liked. What are you at?
What are you at?
Which
Yes.
means, how are you?
How are you doing?
Yeah,
What are you at?
yeah. And also, I learned they always also put S after the verb.
It adds emphasis to it.
Yeah. Like if you say, for example, if you know something, we'd say, I knows.
I knows that.
I knows.
That's right.
And I loves that.
I love that. Yeah.
Love.
I loves that you loves that. That's right. We do speak a little bit differently, and maybe I'll have a chance to come back and circle around to some of those Newfoundland sayings a little later.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this. You're
you.
you're a gentle giant, man.
Thank you.
You really are. So
Thank you very
we
much.
can feel how sweet and sensitive you are. And I know this is a little outside your zone, but you rocked this. And I know there's lots of guys and girls in our network who have dealt with or are dealing with a situation like you've had with brain tumor and being away from family and school and just even a few of those things we touched on.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
Coming and being part of the show.
Yeah.
Just hanging tight here for 2 seconds because I am going to throw that over to my friend Kathy,
Yes.
who has something up her sleeve,
I do.
something wicked.
I do, and it's actually the perfect time to talk about it because it's exactly what Theher was just explaining, was that if you're a young adult with cancer, there's nothing more powerful than sitting across a table or sharing a laugh or getting to know somebody who has been through what you've been through or who's going through what you're going through. And so nobody can tell us or explain to us better than us why cancer is different for young adults. Cancer is difficult no matter when it shows up. It's difficult in childhood. It's difficult in late adulthood. But for young adults with cancer, it's just different. And so we have a couple of very special people that are about to grace our screen who are here to tell us exactly why why cancer is different for young adults. So we just want to thank our community right now. We put a shout out there for people to send us reasons why cancer has been different for them between 18 and 39. And you guys responded in a really powerful way. So let's go ahead and check that out together.
Hi, my name is Lauren Craig and I'm 22 years old and I just began treatment for Hodgkin's lymphoma. Definitely one of the hardest parts of being diagnosed with cancer at such a young age is just having to put my entire life on hold. I just got started, I just graduated university, had started my first job, and I had to basically, start chemo and stop working, and that's been really tough because I'm seeing a lot of my friends kind of beginning their careers and starting their lives and traveling, but I had to stop and fight this, so that was definitely one of the hardest parts.
Getting diagnosed with cancer means that there's some services that you aren't eligible for, like life insurance. And that's not something that most young adults have to worry about. And it can be really discouraging to know that no matter how well you're doing and how healthy you are, you will always be considered medically unfit on paper.
Hi, my name is Kelly Nee, and I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer at age 35 in 2014. And the biggest difference that I found while going through treatment for cancer was raising my 4 children that were under the age of 10. It was very difficult. I was sick and I couldn't really do much, and it felt like they were kind of taking care of me. But I guess in a way we were all taking care of each other.
Cancer is different for young adults because often you're transitioning from one stage of your life to the next. I was 18, about to graduate high school and finding independence from my parents, and cancer came along and changed all that. Suddenly I was completely dependent on my parents' support and feeling like I was getting left behind by my friends who were moving on to college and university. YAC provided me a group of people who understand all that.
Having cancer in your 30s is different because not only are you trying to keep yourself alive, but in some cases you have a little munchkin like this guy that you're trying to keep alive as well. The doctors didn't find the cancer until I went into early labor with him at 33 weeks pregnant. So I had him, I became a new mom, and I found out that I might have cancer all on the same day. The blessing though is all of my pap tests before that were totally fine, nothing came back abnormal, and I actually had stage 2B cervical cancer and it had metastasized to my lymph nodes. So if I didn't get pregnant, if I didn't have him, they probably wouldn't have found the cancer and it probably would have been too late. So in fact, this little guy saved my life.
Hey, my name is Kathy Stock. I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma when I was 29 years old in 2013. And cancer is different for young adults like me because as I'm preparing for work tonight, I am also making sure that I not only put makeup on my face, but also on my scars. So I have a nice little scar right here from where I had my biopsy done. And most young adults don't have to put makeup on their chest before they go out for the night. So that is one of the many reasons why cancer is different for young adults like me.
It sucks having your life cut by 2/3. You're given a diagnosis of something that's incurable or terminal. Those are fun words.
Sex. Whether it's scars that you're feeling self-conscious about or fatigue that you're dealing with during and after treatment, sex is different when you're a young adult who's had cancer. For me, I had cervical cancer, so it meant that the doctors had to restructure my entire insides and my sexual organs, basically. And it's definitely kept things interesting for my husband and I. We've had to get creative in a lot of ways, which is definitely fun, and I can't necessarily always complain about that. But I'm definitely not necessarily having the rodeo sex that I would have figured I'd have in my late 20s and early 30s. So sex is definitely different after cancer.
Hi there, my name is Jennifer Dornbush, and I am a survivor of acute myeloid leukemia. I was diagnosed in September of 2011 at the age of 29, and I just recently celebrated a huge milestone of 5 years cancer-free at the beginning of this month. However, for me, the toughest part of having cancer as a young adult has definitely been the loss of my fertility.
I'm Laura Perkins. I was diagnosed at 29 years old with a chondrosarcoma in my pelvis. My treatment required me to have extensive surgery to remove a third of my pelvis and reconstruct my hip. This has resulted in me being left to walk with this cane for the rest of my life. Cancer is different for young adults because while most are outside enjoying winter activities, I unfortunately need to ensure that I put my snow tire on my cane before I go out in this crappy weather.
Cancer is different for young adults, but any cancer, any stage, Yak's got your back.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that make cancer different for young adults. I would like to add to that at least one piece, going to the sperm bank with your mom. And then 2 days later with your dad.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later after that with your mom.
It's a unique experience.
That is part of why cancer is different for young adults. That, and also probably snow tires and rodeo sex, as we just heard in the video. Cancer is different for young adults. That's why we're here.
That's right.
If it wasn't, we'd be out of work. We'd be doing something else.
That's right.
We'd probably be on the road. I would be in the chemo brains, and we would be
Yes.
touring or something like that.
That's right.
If it wasn't different. But it
Later.
is different.
After we've reached everyone, then we'll retire and do that.
Wicked. I can't wait. Next guest. She's expectation to fire. Came all the way from Edmonton. She is colon cancer at 25. God, how many times does that happen? You say it doesn't happen for young adults. So super young, a rare diagnosis in the young adult world. Megan Campbell, come on in and join us on the big blue couch. Wicked.
Yes.
Smooth, flowing
Yeah,
trip from Edmonton. You're the
totally
second
smooth
survivor.
sailing.
Second survivor from Edmonton, Jamie Carswell, to come to the hookup to Newfoundland in the winter and to have massive flight issues. But we're not taking that as a sign. It just happened.
It just happens.
We're calling this a coincidence.
Yeah, well, the weather, right? It's not no one's fault.
So you flew all the way to St. John's,
Yes.
like saw it. It was like within
So
a couple of feet.
yep,
There's St. John's. I
yep,
see it.
Yep.
And then, as many a Newfoundlanders experienced,
Yep.
it's not a redirect to Gander,
No.
3 hours away.
No, it's not.
Deer Lake, 6 hours away. Halifax, an hour and a half flight away.
No.
Let's go back to
Toronto.
It is
back
the
to Toronto.
thorn
Let's
in
go
the
back to Toronto. Yes.
So you got here a little late, a little more tired than expected.
Yes, I
but
did.
you were a champ, and we did the power start with some stakeholders.
Yeah,
yesterday
that was
morning.
wonderful.
You
Yeah.
were great.
Well,
Wicked.
thank you.
And I'm really glad that you're here because you represent certainly a key part of YAC's network. In our space, in our mission, we talk about supporting young adults that are living with, through, and beyond cancer. And when we say with, we mean with.
Yep.
That can be for a month, a year, or a whole load of years.
Yes.
And the rest of your life.
Yep.
And that's how we look at it. So we know that you kind of, as Loyal did, unexpectedly came into this space. Before cancer, you were in a pretty awesome space. What
Yes.
was going on?
Well, I was on top of my world. Like I had a new job. I'm a teacher, and I was at a new school. I had a new contract. It was a probationary contract, about to get my continuous, meaning that I was about to get my permanent position. And I was making a difference with my students' lives. I felt like that was my purpose. And 3 months in, I got diagnosed with cancer.
Okay. Now I know we got the birthday cake shot,
Yes.
which is you
Yes.
close. Is this 25th birthday
Yeah,
shot?
25th birthday.
So I don't know
yeah.
if there's 25 birthday candles
No,
on
there
the
isn't.
cake.
There's
but
only 13,
There's
but-
happy birthday to
Yes.
Megan.
Yeah.
And then a short while after, it's the Oilers shot.
Oh, gosh.
Trish has the Oilers shot there.
Yeah.
I reluctantly put up the Oilers shot. But this is the family shot.
This is the family shot.
Megan,
Yeah.
you don't look as happy in that picture.
Well, it was my 26th birthday, and that was after my first round of chemo. And
Family picture, and you were like, this
just
is,
get me out of here.
This is a bitch.
Yes. Just get me out of here.
We get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So what happened after diagnosis? You had chemo.
So,
what else was treatment about?
So my diagnosis was, on November 26th, they told me you have stage 4 colon cancer, you're terminal, or incurable, and you have 2 to 3 years left to live. The only treatment that you can do is chemotherapy. And there's 4 different lines for you, and we'll start off with the first line of treatment, and if that one doesn't work, then we'll continue on with the second one. If that one doesn't go on, then we'll just keep going on to the 4th line of treatment. So I was on Full Fury, and a combination of 3 drugs, and I was on that for 10 months, and then it stopped working. And I found that out in October 2016. And that was a really hard time in my life. I mean, it spread to my left lung. I had 2 tumors. I named them Tweedledee, Tweedledum, because they're annoying as can be. And
they deserve a nickname like that.
They deserve a nickname like that, right?
That's
yeah.
right.
So yeah, Tweedledee, Tweedledum came into my life, and I was devastated. I lost hope, and I thought that this was the end, and yeah.
So when did you connect with Yak?
Right after that. That's when I decided I needed to change my perspective on coping with cancer and to get some help. So the first thing I did was I joined the Facebook alumni group.
Yeah.
I got connected with other people, not just with colon cancer, but with other people. And through the Facebook group, I was fortunate enough to meet someone my age, the same stage, the same type of cancer, and in the same city. So that was huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and she, Morgan. Hey, Morgan. She was actually on FOLFOX, which was the treatment that I was going to be on next. So we met up in October, and she was able to give me a heads up of what to expect, which was huge. I mean, it's different hearing it from the doctors, right? They tell you. They tell you the side effects and everything, but to actually hear it from someone who's actually experienced that was so helpful.
Yeah. Thankfully, the docs don't have to have the chemo before they give it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So they read the list and they know, like, these are the side effects. But it's
just
the
powerful.
authenticity of hearing from someone else who is, this is how it made me feel.
Yeah, and it really helped, and knowing what to expect. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you decided that the retreat was going to be something you were going to experiment with. Was that a little nerve-wracking to think about going to something like that?
Yeah, because I've never traveled alone before.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it was a big step.
So that's not really a cancer thing. That's kind of like the lifestyle thing.
Yeah. And so I went to the retreat hoping to hear other people's stories and make new connections. And I did. And it really gave me hope. Hearing everyone's stories and experiences, it made me change my perspective in coping with cancer and to actually make some changes in my life, which I'm trying to do right now.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, you know, the survivors at home, you know, you guys who are watching now, you've registered for this. So we have your email address, your phone number, your address, your social insurance number, your medical card, your insurance policy. We have everything about you, so you can't get away from us if you wanted to. But there are a lot of people that are going to see this, and maybe even some tonight, who haven't kind of outed themselves, so to speak, who haven't kind of owned the cancer thing. I'm going to take this on. I'm going to join a cancer group.
Yeah.
And certainly I know lots of people. Not saying anyone present company, who
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm on Twitter.
Like, you know,
I'm on Twitter, just checking the Twitter feed.
Walked in this office and had a great wicked chat with me, and kind of walked out and flipped me the bird on the way out and said, I am done with cancer. I don't need this Yak thing. He seemed like an all right guy, but there's just some people don't want cancer to be the main thing in their life, so they want to move on, right? Like that's another part of this. I want to get back to life. I miss so much.
That's right.
You kind of got to get over all of that if you're coming to a 4-day retreat at a facility, BC, 25 survivors, 4 days talking about cancer in your life and how that all fits together. So once you did that and you came out of that, what has kind of happened since then?
Well, what has happened since then? Well, I'm trying to I'm trying to do Shave for the Brave in Edmonton. So using my connections in the teaching world, hopefully I will be able to connect with some different schools and organize some events there.
That'd be awesome.
That's my plan.
That'd be wicked.
Yeah, so just to give back to the community and what you guys have done for me, it's huge. So that's my plan. But now my chemo brain's acting up. What was the other? What was the question again?
The Pittsburgh Penguins are the best hockey team in the world.
I
The
beg to
Edmonton
differ, but that's
Oilers
okay. Yeah.
Are trash.
Oh.
We're talking about the post-retreat and kind of coming out of that experience and giving back to the community is super powerful when you do that. You know, obviously it's a personal transformation that happens for a lot of people in that retreat, and a lot of times on the show we talk about these events, the retreat and the conference, and you know, part of it definitely is to sell you, those of you who haven't done it yet. But another real big part of it is to just have people understand that these kinds of things, it doesn't have to be our retreat specifically, but connecting with other young adults really makes a big difference.
It does.
So you and Morgan have stayed in touch. It's
Yes.
easy when you're in the same space,
Yes,
but also
it
easy
is.
when you're on your phone and
Yeah.
you know you got your people right there. So you guys are still in touch. Was she at that retreat?
Morgan?
Yeah.
No, she wasn't. She couldn't make it.
So Morgan, we got to get you
Yeah,
out.
I'm trying to help her out with that.
What
So
is?
hopefully maybe the Survivor Conference.
Yeah, maybe we may or may not have something to say about that
Yeah,
in about
yeah.
40 minutes or so, or half an hour. I'm not sure. That's really cool. So you're in this space, and we're super glad that you're part of the network.
Yes.
And you know, you would have heard this many times at the retreat. I know. Oh, it's so good to be with people who get it.
Yeah.
But also, the way I started the show is truly it. Any cancer, any stage.
Any stage, yeah.
Yak has got your back.
Yeah, it's true.
And you can see that and you feel that in that Facebook group.
Yes.
And you'll feel the same energy in the face-to-face stuff, from
Yeah.
the local life to the hookup tonight
Yes.
to retreats and conference.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a safe place. Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to
Yeah.
be. Yeah, you can be your real true self.
Yes.
All the crazy cancer stories, welcome here.
Yeah, and there's no stupid questions at all. Like.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a good stupid question that you've asked?
Personally, no.
They're all smart, of course. You're a teacher. You're so well prepared. I would never ask a stupid question. Kathy, ever ask
I would
a
like
stupid
to
question?
show something that's really stupid cool. So Megan and I just met, the other day.
Oh yes, yes.
But prior to that, Megan would pop up on my Facebook as a people you might know. And it freaked my husband out so much because he thought that someone had stolen my profile picture because we look so much the same. And if we can shoot to my phone for a second.
This is how savvy we are. This
is
Tristan, Daryl, the boys
Just
got
watch
it all
now.
hooked up.
And if it doesn't, look at that. So the top one is me. And the bottom one is Megan.
Yes.
These shots were not planned. They were taken separately at different times. And we are twins.
Well, I already am a twin, but you
That's
can be my
right.
triplet.
I have always wanted to be in a triplet. Dreams come true.
Yeah.
At Yak
Amazing.
Hookup.
Yeah.
That is wicked. Thank you so much for
Thank
being here.
you.
Just hang tight on the couch for a sec. Because Kathy Stock,
Yes.
you, I said multi-talented, singer, songwriter, mom, wife, reporter,
Yes, newscaster. You gotta make ends meet.
diversifying the resume. I
That's
like
right.
it.
My
An
portfolio is
amazing
large.
addition to the hookup last year.
Thank you.
I think it's time for the big cancer news.
I think so too. There's a lot of top stories this time around.
I cannot wait to feel them.
Wanna roll it out?
Are we going to the
We
big
gonna do
cancer
it?
news?
We
Let's
gonna
do
do
it.
it? All right, let's do it.
Send it.
Good evening, and welcome to the Big Cancer News. I'm Kathy Stock, and here are tonight's top stories. Medical personnel have discovered a revolutionary new way to help young adult cancer patients with anxiety during routine scans. Combining both music therapy and diagnostic imaging, they have created several new machines that function as both scanner and jukebox. The CT scanner is being replaced with the Sir Scans-A-Lot, a machine that plays "Ooh Baby, I Wanna Get Witcha" and "Take Your Picture" on a continuous loop during scans. Also added to the new fleet of imaging tools is a PET scan machine that plays "You Down with PET? Yeah, You Know Me," as well as an MRI machine that plays "All by Myself" by Eric Carmen. Important information has been released regarding those affected by thyroid cancer. Unbeknownst to sufferers, thyroid cancer has now been classified as the good cancer. So congratulations to all of those who have been affected. Statistics show that 4 out of 4 young adult cancer patients in Canada will be treated like an insane, over-emotional hypochondriac at least twice in their lifetime. Psychologists believe that exposure to this ridicule and doubt in the midst of insecurity and fear will have no positive outcome whatsoever. The World Health Organization recommends empathy and common sense. Snapchat is working on a photo filter that will allow attractive young adult cancer patients to actually look sick. This feature will be particularly helpful for those patients who have not lost their hair or appetite. One 33-year-old cancer survivor had this to say about the Snapchat filter.
Oh my gosh, this is so perfect. I am so excited about this new filter because without it, people just think that I'm fine. I didn't lose my hair and I can still eat and I still pretty much look the way that I did before, but I feel like garbage. So this filter helps me to look as terrible as I feel. Thanks, Snapchat.
A federal court judge in Vancouver has struck down the law barring medical marijuana users from obtaining marijuana outside of licensed producers. Here with some information on that ruling is our resident medical marijuana expert, Ronnie. Welcome to the show, Ronnie. Ronnie? Are his ears working? Ronnie?
No, I hear fine. Perfect. I can hear you perfect. You sound great, by the way. Really good. A little bit tense. Are you a bit tense tonight? Because I got, if you're a bit tense, I can help you relax a little bit if you need it.
Ronnie, as an unlicensed producer of marijuana, how do you feel about the federal court's decision?
No, I've never really been there. But I heard it was a nice place. It's got water and rocks and stuff. Probably good. Good. Nothing bad. Good. Pretty good.
Okay, do you think it will be more difficult for young adult cancer patients to obtain the medical marijuana that they need?
What are you saying? What are you saying, Kathy? I mean, I am a businessman and I'm available, but what are you accusing me of something specific? I mean, just because I got the matching boots and the jacket and this pretty deadly hairdo does not mean that same dude that you're talking about was at that conference at the Holiday Inn back in June. I mean, it could have been anybody. It wasn't me. And that's the truth. It wasn't me.
Ronnie, was there anything else that you wanted to add this evening? Ronnie.
What's that sound? What's that sound?
You're listening to Ben.
Hot shoe. Running down the avenue. With zero discipline. I heard that about you, Kathy. Mana. Ronnie. What a rascal he is.
That was a tricky news shoot for me. It's hard to be professional around that guy.
Kathy, you are a professional. You did very well.
I try.
Yeah. Hard-hitting questions
you.
as well. Yeah, you were getting right into it with him.
That's right.
I'm sure the cops now have him on their radar.
I hope so.
Unlicensed
Seems like
producer.
a delinquent.
Official status of unlicensed producer, not to be confused with licensed producer. Just a quick note about from our buddy Finn, who joined us on the Big Cancer News last year.
Yes.
I heard earlier today he got in a boating accident. He was smuggling cod from behind Carbonear to Bacon Cove.
That sounds accurate.
And thus was unable to join us this evening.
That definitely sounds like Finnegan Critch.
Finn, we love you and miss you, dude.
That's right.
We've got your back. We'll see you again soon.
That's right.
Including back on this hookup. Now we got number 3.
Woohoo.
Our third and final guest. This lady takes on the challenge in unique and amazing and creative ways. She's a mom of 2, diagnosed with breast cancer at 34, and she just finished treatment close to the end of last year. We are going to talk to Susan Ralph. Come on in, Susan Ralph, on the big blue couch. Wicked.
Welcome. Jazz hands.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You had to wait through this whole time, and now it's your turn. So does that like get all the nerves out, or you're not nervous? You're good to go.
I'm okay.
You're good.
I'm okay.
You're good. Okay. So everyone expects to get breast cancer at 34.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
It was on my list of things to do that year.
We're like, oh yes, I'm sure this is coming. I know it's going to be there. So you just kind of discovered something random one day. What's this on something to go with this?
Yeah, I was in the shower and I was just washing myself like anyone normally would, and I just struck a lump with the side of my hand. I said, that's not right. That's not supposed to be there. And then I investigated further, and sure enough, it was a cancerous lump.
Was that the nursing instinct or just the regular mommy instinct, probably?
That was just the womanly, I know my body, and that was never there before.
This is not right. And good for you to not do the manly thing sometimes. Fellas. Go get it checked out. Don't wait. Oh, that lump, maybe it was there, maybe it wasn't. Wow, let's see if it's still there in 6 months. You went and got it checked out.
Yes.
And then obviously super shocked with that experience, and then having a couple of girls at home obviously adds a new kind of crazy element to that.
Yes.
That some young adults have to deal with for sure, and some don't. And then, your docs kind of get you prepared. What your treatment consisted of? What kind of stuff did you have?
Initially, I was just told that I would have to have surgery. The original biopsy showed invasive ductal cancer, which is the common type of breast cancer.
Right.
And I figured that I would have my surgery, recover from that, and go back to work, go back to normal life. And it didn't happen.
It didn't work like that.
It was funny how things happen like that. When I went back for my checkup, they had done the pathology on the whole tumor, and they actually said it was something called metaplastic breast cancer, which is very rare and very aggressive. And they actually found a spot in one of my lymph nodes. So I ended up having to go back for a second surgery to have more lymph nodes removed, which thankfully were negative.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, I'll recover from my second surgery, and then I'll go back to work and go back to normal. And I met with my oncology team. They said, no, actually, you have to have chemo and radiation.
So that wasn't until after the second surgery. So you went into chemo, just like everyone else does. I know you just kind of put your head down, did your best to tuck in the corner, not make a scene, didn't want to raise any eyebrows or anything. Is that how you handled that?
No. I liked making a scene.
We have a wicked shot of that, Trish. Let's pop that up. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in this mad collage.
So actually, the bottom one was my second chemo, and it happened to be on May the 4th. So, of course, May the 4th be with you, as any Star Wars fan knows. I said to my friend who brought me to all my chemo treatments, we have to dress up in Star Wars costumes for this. So we brought lightsabers, and we had the helmets, and sure enough, that was the start of it. So from then, we said, well, this was really fun. Maybe we should do this for all of the chemo treatments. We'll come up with a different theme for each one, and we'll come in dressed up as such. So I did an 80s theme, a Mexican theme. We did the mummers, and then the last one we did like a celebration, because it was my last chemo and a celebration for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had a bottle of wine there, but we didn't open it.
It was just a prop, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, that's an awesome way to rock chemo.
Yeah.
Literally make it your own and take a little bit of control over this chemo. So survivors in the middle of chemo, you have a little idea there now if you want to mix it up and add some themes into the chemo room.
And it just made it so much lighter for everybody else that was there.
I bet it did. I bet it made a big impact on you, but also very much those around you. So whoever happened to be lucky enough to be in the chemo room that day, got to see your energy come through there. I'm sure that was a big deal for them.
Yeah. I had a lot of positive feedback.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
So you moved through that, and I know it was at this event last year that you first connected with Yak.
Yes.
And we got to come hang out after the event and meet with you and Heather.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few months later, we got to see you and Heather again.
Yes.
At the conference.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your decision to reach out so early in your experience, because that doesn't always happen.
No.
Not saying anything about present company or anything.
That's right.
Right.
No judgment here at all.
I was here from day one.
We're glad to have you come
Doing the
whenever you
news.
want to come. You're welcome.
Just in life, I've always found that
having support is very important. Whether it be through having children or, you know, your career or anything, it's good to have support and like-minded people. So when I had my diagnosis, and I happened to be on Facebook one day, and I saw a link for the Big Cancer Hookup. And I kind of did a little bit of online research about YAC and what it was, and I said, this sounds like a really good group to get in contact with, and it sounds like something that I would like and benefit from. So I decided to reach out and sign up, and here I am.
Nice. But it's one thing to come to the hookup for a couple hours, hang out with some strangers. You know, you can like, oh, I'm not feeling well. Excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, hop in the car with Heather, and you're gone. Like that's doable, and that happens. That's okay because it's intimidating to come out. But it's another to kind of commit to 4 days and kind of immerse yourself at the conference, which you did as well. So just tell me a little bit about that.
I just saw it as a great learning opportunity, a connecting opportunity, getting to know people, even the people that I'd already met, getting to know them even better than I already did, meeting new people who come from different places, have different experiences, and, you know, who are sharing that, and then all of the sessions too, and I knew that they were going to, you know, the sessions that were going to be offered, and that was an interest to me.
Nice. And was it all just kind of work, you with the notepad?
Yes, at 8 o'clock every
just
night, I went
notes.
to my room and went to bed.
That's what I thought.
I remember that. I remember being like, where's Susan?
Yeah.
Well, there were
It's
a lot
8
of people from away. And of course, what's the number one thing everyone from away wants to do when they come to Newfoundland?
Go to the room at 8 o'clock and get a good night's rest.
Absolutely.
That's what we do. That's what the locals do, isn't it?
Yes.
Except you. You decided to be tour guide, I guess.
Well, I actually, initially I said, no, I'm not going to go. I'm actually going to, you know, call it a night and get some rest.
That was a legitimate conversation. She was like, like,
this is not happening.
And then I saw, like, documented footage and photos the following day that suggested otherwise.
Well, I said, you know what, this would be really not friendly and not Newfoundlander-like of me to kind of not be helpful and take these people to where they want to go.
So you did it for the good of the province, really. It was
Absolutely.
really about the reputation of the province.
Absolutely.
We have a reputation to uphold.
What kind of
You are an
Newfoundlander would I
ambassador.
be if I hadn't taken them to George Street?
I get it. So you took them to George Street. Anything cool happen there?
They
With
wanted
Daniela
to go
Landert or
to
anything?
they wanted to go to a place called Karaoke Cops.
Wicked.
Yeah.
What goes on there, I wonder?
Tea drinking.
Tris, do we have
Tea
a shot
drinking.
of what we have? We have a
Crocheting.
shot
Tea
of what happens at
drinking.
Karaoke Cops. That is what happens at Karaoke
This
Cops.
is one of my favorite photos of all time, I think, that
And
I've ever seen.
I'm just going to say to Daniela, we look so badass in this shot, and we are rocking it out like nobody's business, but the jig is up. We were singing Brown Eyed Girl.
I know. I was. You really ruined the story when you told me that. That's
Yeah.
That picture was one of my favorites, but I don't love it near as much now.
No,
That I know
I was
you're singing
picturing
Brown
them like
Girl.
rapping Gangsta's Paradise or something really hardcore, singing AC/DC,
Long way to the top. Of
top.
rock and roll. That's what I'm thinking. Of that
Something
picture
a little
saying.
bit more.
That's how it's
hardcore
speaking
than
to
that.
me. I think maybe we'll have to go for a repeat on that one.
You know what? I
do-over.
think so.
That's right.
I would go
Encore.
for that.
Yeah. Well, I learned my lesson. I went home and went to bed. But now, when I know that Susan is hosting the party, I will show up for the Susan party.
No.
Well,
I
there
gotta
was
be
also
there.
the dancing at the banquet.
That's right. I did dance a lot at the banquet.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Corrine got our dance on at the banquet. But yeah, any party that Susan's at is a party that I want to be at.
Okay. Did anything else happen the night of the banquet last year at the Survivor Conference? Anything else happen?
Anything? I
Anyone
think this is
35-pound Stanley Cup
I
over
think
their head.
this
Anyone
is
raise that up that
a
night?
reference I don't understand.
Megan, any idea what was going on last
Sports related
June? It was a
something.
beautiful Sunday evening.
Was it a sports ball? Sports
Rogers Game Center Live,
Mhm.
playing on several laptops.
That was happening.
It was a little unfortunate that it clashed, but it was kind of a cool experience for the several young adult cancer patient Penguins fans who were there.
There were layers to that party, and all of them were awesome.
Our brother Justin Frampton, who is, has left us again. We're loving that guy and his energy. Mad Penguins fan,
Mhm.
Finn,
Finn was
also
there.
known as Jody. Mad Penguins fan.
Mm.
I also have an affinity for the Penguins. It doesn't give you cancer as a young adult to be a Penguins
I don't
fan.
know.
It's
I'm
just
starting to see a
coincidence that
trend.
the three of us had cancer.
You're not doing a hard sell for the Penguins.
But we had a
tonight.
wicked, we had a super fun night that night, and it was a lot of fun. And then, you know, it's amazing to have time out like that when you can kind of get away and be immersed with a bunch of people who really get it. But you know, on Monday or maybe Tuesday, you had to go back home, and you got your girls, and you got your life, and you got your responsibilities, and life kind of moves on. And I know they are obviously a massive part of your life. Where are you now in your space? Where is your head? Where's your heart? Where's treatment? Where are you now?
Right now, I think I'm trying to process everything that happened over the last year. It's a lot. And I'm still dealing with questions that my daughters have. If I have any appointment whatsoever now, whether it be a hair appointment or whatever, why do you have an appointment? Do you have to go to the doctor? They're, you know, kind of still worried.
Yeah. There's two truths that are really driving Yak's mission. The first we talk a lot about tonight, cancer is different for young adults. The second truth is that it takes longer to recover from cancer than it does to be treated. And that's true for almost everybody. But that's not the expectation you have when you go into the cancer system.
No.
And it's certainly not the way we've allocated our resources. And often people come out of that treatment space and they have expectations. And definitely a lot of times people around them have expectations that it's going to get back to good.
Yeah.
We just, okay, chemo's over, wicked, I should be able to just roll right back to work, roll right back to the mom I was, and it doesn't roll like that.
It doesn't, no. Before I was diagnosed, I was at the gym 6 days a week. I ate super healthy. And I found that cancer and the process, the journey, changed every facet of my life. So instead of having one little thing to work on about myself, I have a lot of things to work on. And sometimes it's hard to not want to do them all at the same time and to kind of take a deep breath and say, you know, I have to do this step by step.
That's wicked. Tris, did we throw up the shot of the girls there? Susan, the girl with her girls. There is, obviously, I know your two biggest motivations to do that work. And you know that you have got a massive network of raving fans who are young adult cancer warriors and ass kickers just like you, who are with you every step of the way as you do that work. And we're here. So thanks so much for being part of the show. I am super pumped that you came in to join us on the couch this year. And stay connected, and we'll see where we go next year. But I'm super glad you're connected in the network.
I'm super glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks, Susan.
Thank you.
Kathy, we have done Twitter a little differently this year.
We have.
But I know you've been tuned in. We've been
been.
kind of swapping back some stories every now and then about what's going on. What's happening?
I got some tweets for you guys. You guys have been awesome online. I've been super pumped to read them. We've been resharing them through the Young Adult Cancer Canada page. So get on Twitter if you're not already. So we're going to bring my screen up on the main screen for everybody to see. So this is our Twitter feed here. We have Annette Riley loving the colorectal shout out in the thank you cards portion of the show. Thanks, Yak. Thank you, Annette. We have Chris Chow, shout out to the hair extensions. We'll never forget Chris's mortified face as I put my hair extension into his hair way back when. We have These Are My Scars, just chilling with my peers at the Yak Hookup 17. Always remember Yak has got your back, and that is 100% true. That's why we're all here. We have Denis Raymond, a seizure in stats class, a whole new reason to dislike stats. That's for the hair. Yak Hookup 17, and that is very true. Lots of people can relate. Guys, we have Haley, and this is her first Yak event. And she's tweeting out. So we just want to say a giant hello to her. Thanks for tweeting and for connecting. And we hope to see a lot more of you so that we can all become best friends forever, BFFs. We have Yak Hookup 17. Love the videos. So true on what these young adults are saying. Takes guts to put this out there. Much love, fellow Yakkers. That's from Patricia. Patricia and I have been to several retreats together. We did our retreat. And then we did a retreat adventure where we hiked Gross Mourne together. And that was extremely powerful. I got a couple of pictures. Don't have pictures of everywhere, but we have St. John's. There's our peeps. We have Ottawa, chilling out. We've got Toronto. There they are there. We We got Montreal. So great to see all your faces, guys. We have a couple people in other cities across Canada. There's just a little taste. And guys, this is a really powerful message here right now that Corrine has shared on Twitter and that I would like to share with you. If you are not part of our secret Facebook group, but would like to connect with us, anyone diagnosed between 15 and 39, and our programs are for people diagnosed between 18 and 39, you can connect online. And there's over 500 people in that secret Facebook group. So, so that's a lot of what's going on Twitter right now, which is very, very cool. So I encourage people to definitely connect online, and you can make that as anonymous as you want to be. All you have to do is if you want to create a Facebook page that is just your anonymous Cancer Connection Facebook page, you can call yourself Mr. T and put a picture of a flower, and no one will know who you are. And you can talk to people and connect that way until you're ready to get a little bit closer and a little bit deeper in those relationships. But online is the best possible way to start connecting if you're not really sure what to do, or you know you need connection, but you're afraid to take that first step. So get online, find the Facebook page, get on Twitter, connect with other people. It's a really powerful way to do that.
That is awesome.
It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
very well said. It is. This Facebook thing, it's got some real powerful
We should do a
advantages.
thank you to Mark Zuckerberg at some point.
We'll send him a note.
Next year.
I'll send him a note this
All
week.
right, perfect.
So I've got a couple of thoughts that I want to send to you guys. And what we're going to do, it's not Thursday, so like Throwback Thursday, but or a Flashback Friday, but we're going to go back in time tonight for about 1 minute and 40 seconds. And we're actually going to go back to 2007. Because in 2007, I decided to write a little rant, inspired in part by amazing Newfoundlander Rick Mercer. But I was, several years into Yak by that point, and I had gathered enough of information that kind of made me a little frustrated with where we were as a population, young adults, that is. Yak started under another name, which you may catch in this little short rant. Pop quiz, who can guess what that name is? Anybody who was around in 2008 before, you know what that is. And so we started early in this space of me just kind of in between two cancer experiences, and then we moved through that. By the time we were 3, I'd had a second transplant and recovered from that. We started to do our first strategic plan. And in that strategic planning process, we started to look across the country. And we kind of thought, who are the big brothers and sisters that we can partner with, be a chapter of? I mean, we're this little tiny organization out of my old bedroom at Dad's on the far east of the country. So we looked across the country, and this was in 2003. So, the internet was around, people had websites, organizations are relatively easy to find, but we couldn't find anybody. And that surprised me. That definitely surprised me at that time. And then over the next several years, we started to get these messages and invites from other groups around the world that were focused in this young adult cancer space. We started to learn more about the challenges facing this population. And that kind of all led me to this rant. So we've done a little cut of this just to give you a flavor of it, and we're going to roll to that now, Trist, if you can. Let's flash back to 2007 and me with a couple of thoughts about young adults with cancer.
The Young Adult Cancer Gap. No, not a special section in the local jean store. If you're old enough to drive a car, but nowhere near to getting the seniors discount and you have cancer, you're in the Young Adult Cancer Gap. Menopause in your 20s? More intimate with the latest hotshot resident than your girlfriend? We get it. And ladies, I've been reading the Real Time Cancer website. And if it's a little dry below the border, you should know that that's normal. And you can check out our discussion forums to find out how to get things back to good. Now, do you still think cancer is the same for young adults? If so, I recommend you watch this video in its entirety, 15 to 35 times. If you're still not convinced, contact me personally, and I'll have one of my young adult survivor buddies come to your house, probably one of my lady friends on hormone therapy, and give you an up-close and personal version of what it's like to be caught in the young adult cancer gap. Now, this gap that I speak of, in a twisted, thanks for the chemo that's gonna have me puking all day and kick my ass, but help save my life kind of way, we're grateful for the gap. because without it, real-time cancer wouldn't exist. Yeah, the only reason we're here is to help young adults who are caught in the gap, because at Real-Time Cancer, we get it. Don't mistake this for a whining rant, but be clear, we're not going away. It's not that we're trying to fundamentally change the Canadian healthcare system yet. We know there's a limited resources to deal with the increasing burden of cancer, and we don't want our own hospitals like the kids have yet. But in my opinion, from my seat, it's time to adjust our individual and collective focus slightly. We're grateful for the care, the love and support of family and friends, but sometimes, man, you just gotta connect with others who truly get it. I'm Jeff Eaton. I'm a young adult cancer survivor, and I get it. Do you?
Wow. Flashback to when I had a little tiny bit more hair. Beautiful sunny day. That was actually shot in Montreal on just prior to one of our retreats in 2007. Wow, what a difference 10 years makes. Or does it? What's changed in 10 years? Unfortunately, not a lot. There are some things that have changed, but not near as much as I would like to be telling you, I gotta be honest. One critical thing that has changed is YAC's network. We have this momentum that we've been creating, and you can see this, one of our favorite images is the map of our survivor network by postal code. Now this is several years old, but I still show it all the time because it really, you get the message of what we're about. We've got young adults all over the place. Some dots have one young adult connected in that postal code, some dots have dozens and dozens. And from our perspective, this is one of the critical pieces of change that has happened in those 10 years. Because we are building this network, which is going to be and is a critical cog in the wheel of change. And let me be very transparent. This change that I'm talking about really has two purposes. It's change for your life right now, but it is also change for the system that so far has been engaged in helping you save your life and restore your life. We want change on those two levels. We want this deep personal change. That's what we work for every day here at YAC. But as we continue to grow this network, our eyes are very much on this prize that there is only so much we can do on the individual level. We really ultimately need to be in this place of system change. Healthcare system, providers, government, community, a collective space of change. That's where we want to be. Now, young adults with cancer are often referred to, by me anyway, as Rocky. We're like the biggest underdog in cancer for a whole bunch of reasons. This is not just a Canadian thing, this is an international thing. Now sometimes we're like Rocky after the toughest round with Ivan Drago or Clubber Lang. We've been taking the shots. You have those days. Personally, sometimes we feel like that. At YAC, we definitely have those days. Sometimes it's longer than days. We've just come through the toughest time in our whole life. 15 of the last 18 months have been the most intense we've had at YAC. But I gotta be honest, most days we're like Rocky, climbing the stairs, training, doing the work, getting ready for the next push of growth, the next big challenge that we're gonna face. Most of the days, that is what we feel like. And we wanna work to help you feel like that every day too. Now at YAC, we say we have heart. It's a core value of ours. We really live our values. What does heart mean to us? It means we're bold and brave, compassionate, and fiercely protective of our pride. And no one at YAC has more heart than Leslie Morrissey, who has been with YAC for 10 years. YAC is old enough to have someone work for it for 10 years. More to the point, someone has actually put up working with me for 10 years. And Leslie, like everyone else at YAC, in our team, our board, volunteers, we come to work every day with our heart on our sleeve, and we do the best work we can to build this network. Because we know the bigger we can make it, the stronger it gets, the more diverse it is, the more powerful it is for you and our brothers and sisters of tomorrow who will hear the words that we have heard. You have cancer. Our work every single day is driven by the philosophy. Any cancer, any stage, YAC has got your back. Thank you guys for hooking up with us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this show. We have definitely had a lot of fun pulling it together. There's a couple of key people that we want to say thank you to. Not the least of which is my co-host, Kathy Stock.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Tristram, Daryl, Mark, Ty, the guys at Bell and Fibe, they have helped us a lot with the cost of this year. It's not a big cost, a big budget that we have for this, but they make it look like it is. Like, they make it look like I walk in here like, wow, this is like, who's hosting this thing anyway? Wicked. We couldn't do this without them. All of you guys, local life leaders, event hosts in those 12 cities across the country, thank you so much for jumping in and having our back. We were grateful for that. The satellite cities, the partners, we're going to do a couple of slides later on to recognize them, literally coast to coast helping us out. And one final little piece of news that we've started to make a custom as the hookup is to announce the Survivor Conference. So I am super pumped to tell you that we are bringing the conference back to the Rock this year for a whole bunch of wicked reasons, and we are going to tell cancer to fog off. June 1st to the 5th. Registration's going to open tomorrow, 2 p.m. Newfoundland Standard Time. Google it, do the math, it's not that hard, you can figure it out. But at 2 tomorrow afternoon, Newfoundland time, we're going to open registration for the conference, June 1st to the 5th, here on the Rock again, and we hope that you are going to join us and make this the most amazing, powerful conference we've ever had. That is always the goal. So we can't wait to see you in June, if not before. But thank you for hooking up with us tonight. We're so glad that you are here. And the new guys and girls, we've been waiting for you. Welcome home. We're going to take a couple of minute break, bring everybody back on the couch, and then we're going to be talking to you via Twitter for the next little while. So use the bathroom if you need to, get a break, and come right back, because we don't want this to end yet. We got a little more work to do with you tonight. Thanks so much for hooking up with us, guys. Have a great night. We'll be back in a few minutes.
May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. May you stay forever young. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong. And may you stay forever young. May you stay forever young. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. And may you have a strong foundation when the winds of changes shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. And may you stay forever young. May you stay forever young.
Awesome. That was wicked. Thank you, Kathy. That was awesome. Hey, we're back.
Yay.
And we are glad to be back. Just a little kind of debrief, even more casual. I think we were pretty casual the whole way through tonight. That's how we like to roll.
That's right.
But now we're going to just bring it back and just kind of check in with you guys. We got some more pics and some more notes from across the country. Kathy's tracking Twitter.
That's right.
And we have all of our beautiful people on the big blue couch snuggled in together.
Snuggled up. All cozy. Yeah, guys, if you have questions, go ahead and tweet them out now so we can check them live while we're here together.
Wicked.
Yeah. I got some more photos I'd like to show.
let's
Got
do
some
it.
more people. So we can bring my phone up on the screen there. Technology is such a cool thing. We have Winnipeg right here. Good looking crew. We have Calgary. Awesome. Oh, wait. I think I have a better picture of you guys. There we go. There's our friends out in Victoria.
I was going to say, I know some of those faces. From
There we go. There's some more pictures.
Nice.
It's good stuff.
Wicked to see you guys. So I just like to note to the real Dan Nielsen that it's certainly well known now. You can just go into pretty much any barber shop in the country and ask for the Jeff Eaton.
Nice.
And they know what you're talking about. It's slick,
perfect.
smooth,
Yeah.
very cost effective,
Very.
low maintenance.
Do you This is my question for you. Do you shampoo?
I do not.
I used to shampoo even when I was bald. I think
so-
it just made me feel normal. Did
I
anybody
just
else shampoo in the
did.
baldness?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
How do you lather?
You just.
Just feels good on the scalp. Like,
I
and it smells
wash, but I don't use shampoo. I just use my. Well, sometimes I guess I have that body wash sometimes, so I use that. It's a bit like shampoo. But
My son brought home a letter from school, like one of those dreaded, "that kid in your class has lice" letters
Yeah.
when I was going through chemo. And I was bald, and I remember asking Jay if it was possible for me to have lice. And he was kind of looked at me a little bit strangely and was like, "You have no hair." I was like, "You're right. I'm good." One of the perks.
The hair extensions couldn't. Their hair extensions get
That's true.
lice.
I had nothing to clip them to. I had to wait a little while.
Oh,
I know.
super
Wah,
tough.
wah, wah.
That's super tough.
It's super tough.
I remember one
But
time
no lice.
Karen and I got up on Sunday morning and we were like, "What do you want to have for brunch?" And I was like, "Let's have bacon." And I just thought about my buddy Chris Chow. And I just thought bacon. I just wanted to say that. That's all.
Yeah. Bacon always reminds me.
I just thought about Chris.
him.
Yeah, it was real bacon.
Mhm.
It wasn't turkey bacon.
No.
It was bacon.
That's right. Little bit bacon, a little bit of kale.
Wicked.
That's all you need.
No.
Cancer
No.
kicking recipe right there.
That's right. Yeah. So, guys, if we flashed back, Susan, you have like crazy, probably 25 examples that we've already talked about. But if you thought back to your time in hospital, was there like a crazy, unexpected moment that you had in that time when you were in having chemo, or, I'll never forget the time. This was kind of certainly a unique one for me. I left ICU. I was pretty, well, dependent on everybody around me. Couldn't walk, couldn't move around. I had to rebuild really from the basement. And, like my third day up on the floor out of ICU, one of my best buddies' ex-girlfriends comes in to give me a sponge bath. And I kind of thought, these are the things that just don't happen to the normal, average young adult. And then, you hear, you see stories like from you, Susan, and how wicked that is to go in and rock chemo like that. That doesn't happen all the time. Those people are probably, that's their story. They're like, yeah, this one time, this mama too from Bay Roberts used to come in, and she used to be dressed up like crazy woman to have her chemo. You are probably their crazy story for a whole bunch of people in the chemo room.
Yeah, they actually used to ask, is the girl that dresses up going to be here today?
On demand. Scheduling chemo. I will call. Yeah. When are you coming back, Susan? I want to come back when this lady comes back. And I'm going to come when Darth Vader comes.
Yeah.
Any other crazy moments like that in the hospital, or
Not so much in the hospital. I didn't really spend a whole lot other than my treatments.
Yep.
I was never admitted as an inpatient. I had surgery, but it was only ever like a one-night stay and then home kind of thing.
You were in and out.
The way I shaved my head, that was pretty wild and crazy for me.
Yeah. Did you do it like on the back of a motorcycle, driving down the highway or something?
No.
Like that, or?
Listening to Brown Eyed Girl?
No, but I decided that, you know what, I would never in my life ever have certain hairstyles. But I'm going to shave my head. So why not have those hairstyles?
Give it a go.
Right?
Wicked.
So I had a mullet.
Yep, nice.
And I tried out a rat tail.
Gorgeous.
Classic.
Daniela is the only person ever in life who can actually properly wear a rat tail. But I also had a mohawk, which I actually really liked.
So now that the hair's coming back, we could see the mohawk by Survivor Conference are saying.
It might come back.
Would love it.
Yeah.
That would be wicked. You could rock that, definitely.
Yeah.
We have a
Megan.
couple of Twitter questions here. Do you want to flash to those?
Yeah,
You got some
I
ideas?
just wanted to talk about poo for a little bit.
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
Jamie Carswell's not here.
I always am game to talk about poo.
Jamie's not here, so kind of in honor of Jamie, who kind of is the standard go-to yacker
Yes.
to check in and talk about poo.
Mhm.
Like that never comes up when you have colon cancer, does it?
Oh, never. Never, ever.
They just skate around that one, hey?
Yeah, no. What do you want to know about it? Like, what do you want?
Well, I guess we should start with the consistency.
Oh,
Is it like toothpaste? Or
That's the thing. At the Cross Cancer Institute, they ask you. It's like, what consistency is it? Is it toothpaste consistency? Is it like right?
Do they have like a form? Like,
They had a form.
Six options.
They had six
Please
options, and then you
check
had to
which-
write it in, and
which
then
option?
yes, I kid you not.
So it's like toothpaste.
Yeah.
It's cement.
Yeah,
it's beach
basically,
rocks.
yeah.
It's a glass of water.
And what color?
Right there, they
and
don't talk
things
about.
like that. So yeah, that's how it goes with good old colon cancer.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
They don't have that in like the preteen movies of like the sexy people getting cancer. They never talk about the rock poo in those movies.
You're right.
They just talk about all
Or
the
the
sexy
river, or the
stuff.
river poo. You are right about that.
It's true.
I wonder why that is.
The hair loves this conversation. He's really enjoying it.
You know, one of the first times I went to the Young Adult Alliance meetings in 2006, 07 maybe, Chris Carr was there. Crazy Sexy Cancer, Chris Carr. So her movie was just coming out, and she came to the Young Adult Alliance meetings down in Texas, and did a screening of her movie, and we had to ask questions and have a little Q&A with her after, and I asked her, like, why did you have to show that needle going in your arm? Like, I'm such a baby with that stuff, man. I was like, before I got sick, I passed out every single time I got a needle. And then when I got sick, it's like I turned into a robot, and I was like, okay, I got to tough this out, so I did. And then I think I'm starting to regress now. But when I see the needle go in the arm, like I'm still home watching the news or something. I'm like, oh, I can't watch. So I challenged her on it, and she came right back at me, and she was like, you know, in a nice way. She's like, so that reaction that you got, that's why I put it in. So then I said, well, why didn't we have the close up of the colon cleanse that you did? Not that we wanted to see that, but it's just not in the movies. So we don't. Maybe the Cross Cancer Institute should share the form that they have.
Yeah, the realities of having,
Maybe you should take a picture of it, and you should share it, and then Yak will share it.
Yeah, maybe I can ask them when I go in on January 31st for blood work, yeah.
That would be wicked.
Yeah.
That's what should be on the pamphlets. Like I got a book about lymphoma, and it was like a grandfather and his child walking through the woods. No, it was nothing like that. The experience was I did not see one grandfather walking me through the woods.
You never went to the woods.
I didn't go to the woods ever. That was never one of my prescriptions. Time. Wood walks.
It sounds nice though.
It does. It was a lovely book.
And there's a beautiful pond just up the road. Maybe we'll
It's
go for a walk tomorrow or something.
That's right.
What's happening? Who's on Twitter?
We've got we have Alyssa Noonan, and she was asking what everybody's best cancer perks were, because when you get the cancer card,
yep,
and you use it, I know Megan had to use her cancer
Yeah, I
card
did.
on the way here.
Yep.
And so, if you are unfortunate enough to have the card, what has it gotten you or gotten you out of?
Well, for me, I used it on Wednesday. No, actually, it was the 26th, Thursday, early 3 in the morning. I was supposed to, I was scheduled because of the flight thing, right? They canceled, going back to Toronto. So they booked me onto the later flight, the 1 o'clock flight. And it was 3 in the morning. I'm like, you guys, come on, like, I have cancer. I'm terminal. Right. I need, and I hate using my cancer card, but I used it. And luckily I was on standby for the 8 o'clock in the morning flight, and I was able to get on that. And
glad. I'm glad that they heard you.
Yeah,
and,
they did.
Legit
I'm really grateful.
Out.
And then another one I used was in Disneyland. I used my cancer card in Disneyland in June.
In the happiest place on earth.
In the happiest place on earth. And I got to go on every single ride, front and the first in line. It was awesome.
Nice. That's the super fast pass.
Yes, the super fast pass. It was awesome.
The cancer pass.
Yes, the cancer pass. Right?
I've actually heard some really cool stories from other yakkers that have gone down and done that. And got the behind-the-scenes Dizzy tour.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
No,
like
I
a
didn't get to do
super
that. But.
And no guilt in that. No guilt in that.
That's right.
Not at all.
No.
It's lovely that they did that.
The hair, did your stats teacher give you a pass at all? Like, did he say, like, this dude has had a rough go in stats, we're going to give him the course?
Oh, yeah.
So you didn't you had to write the exam, or he's like, you know what, we're gonna figure this out. I'm gonna give him his marks, maybe bump up his midterm a little bit. He's gonna get a 50, so he doesn't have to come back to this course.
No, actually, I had this course repeated again.
You had to do it again.
Yeah, and I'm doing it this semester.
We're doing it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh dear.
So you're in the stats right now.
Yeah.
Woof. Have fun with that.
How are stats? Do you like stats?
Yeah.
See?
There we go.
There we go.
Look at.
He doesn't want to get out of it.
Oh, that's right.
He's not using the cancer card.
Yeah,
to
you're
get
doing
out of
computer
stats.
science. You're going to be into that space.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How's Twitter doing?
We also want to know.
Well, shut our
Let's
phone
see
down.
here. Oh, we have another picture. Another picture here. I believe this is Saskatoon. I think. Oh, am I connected? I might not be. I'm not. Hang on. This is on me, not our amazing staff of incredible professionals. So here we are. Is this Saskatoon? Yeah, maybe. I'll scroll in so you can see our peeps. Here we go. Leslie can't see. I think so. Sorry, guys. I had a lot of pictures on my phone. But the one thing that I can tell you is that everyone is very attractive, which is the main thing.
Everyone is very attractive. Less hair, more flair. I like it.
We have. Kareen left us a question. She wants to know everybody's favorite song for your chemo days. If you had a song that helped you getting through treatment, or that pumped you up, or that calmed you down, or something like that. If you had a song that really helped you during chemo days. And after that,
sorry.
there we go.
Sorry.
There we go.
Sorry,
No,
that
you
was
never
total
need to
accident.
apologize for that.
Sorry.
And then what your best Netflix, if you had anything on Netflix that you watched to pass the days when you, if you had some Netflix advice, because everybody's looking for a good Netflix series if you're flat on your butt and you can't do anything else. So, songs for Susan. You got a song?
Yes. Only the Good Die Young.
There you go. Little Billy Joel.
Yep, I played that at my last chemo treatment. I thought it was kind of like a little sick joke.
That's right. Well, and you're such a badass that you're
That's
like, I'm
right.
fine.
If you had gone to bed at 8 o'clock at the Survivor Conference, you would have been in
That's right.
trouble.
So
But
she's
you were
like,
like,
"Phew, I'm good."
no, I will not obey orders from my doctor and my
Right, because I was going through chemo at the time.
my good devil shoulder. I'm going to go down and knock this out.
Yeah.
That's right, Wicked.
That was a hilarious turn of events.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm going to go to sleep. You tore down St. John's. It was deadly. How about you, Megan?
I have a chemo playlist, so I'm trying to decide which ones. My absolute favorite song, though, is "Shaking the Blues Away" from the Easter Parade, the movie from the 1940s or 50s. But lately, I've been listening to Elton John's "I'm Still Standing."
Nice.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Love that tune.
Yeah. Me
That's
too.
Wicked. Just a quick interjection to answer a question from Heather. That I am wearing socks. And they do have Rocky Balboa on them.
Keep your leg out. Keep your leg out. You gotta show 'em.
As given to me by
They are.
by
Rocky's kind of on the other side of your ankle, but
Don Bishop, who works at Yak, gave me these socks, and I will rock these socks at the hookup.
there we go.
As long as we're doing hookups. Unless I get some other cool new Rocky socks, which
right.
would be wicked.
I can't believe there's even a pair of Rocky socks in existence.
And Apollo Creed's on the back. Just saying. Pretty wicked socks.
They are. Don
Yeah.
got those?
Don found these. Yeah.
Shout
they're
out to
wicked.
Don.
That's right.
Good job, Don.
Guys, wicked comments. Wicked to see you all connecting in the Twitter space tonight. And you're going to do that on the local level now. You get to hang out. We are going to do the same thing here. And we hope you are all going to come do this with us in person on June 1st for the Survivor Conference. Registration opens tomorrow at 2. Go to the web, go to Facebook or Twitter. You will find it. Andrew's already posted there. The link will be there. You'll be ready to register. Thanks so much for hooking up with us. You know, any cancer, any stage, Jack's got your back. Have a great night, and we will talk to you again soon.